All right, let's dive into something pretty interesting today.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking about how to prep for a textile quality inspector interview.
Okay.
So this is, more than just your socks matching, right? We're talking fabrics, garments, car interiors, all sorts of different things where quality is essential.
Absolutely.
And we've got these two awesome guides from RoleCatcher, their career guide and interview guide,
Okay.
both specifically for textile quality inspectors.
Great.
And one of the things I thought was so cool about RoleCatcher is they use AI to help tailor your application and get feedback.
Wow.
Pretty cool, huh? We'll get into that a little bit later, but first I want to weave in our expert here who's got some fascinating insights from these guides.
Yeah, one of the things that really struck me right off the bat was just thinking about the work environment.
Okay.
Forget your sterile office cubicles. This is a job that's all about being on the factory floor, like amidst the hum of the machinery, the rustle of fabrics.
So not your typical 9 to 5.
No, definitely not.
But what should someone really expect when they step onto that factory floor? Like, what's the nitty-gritty?
Well, the career guide, it paints a pretty vivid picture.
Okay.
You're talking potential for noise, dust, heat,
Oh, wow.
It's a very dynamic environment.
Yeah.
Plus, you might be on your feet for a while, lifting materials, doing these kind of repetitive tasks.
Okay.
So it's something to definitely consider if you think this might be the right career for you.
It's all about the right fit, right?
Exactly.
Okay, but let's get down to the core of this role.
Sure.
What are some of the, key responsibilities that a textile quality inspector tackles day in and day out?
You're essentially the guardian of quality.
Okay.
You're monitoring every single step of that production process, from the raw materials to the finished product. So that means, you're checking for any defects. You're making sure that those textiles meet all those quality standards. You got to know the regulations like the back of your hand.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you need a sharp eye and a very deep understanding of textiles.
You got it.
Okay. Now let's say you're in that hot seat.
Okay.
You're facing down a panel of interviewers.
Right.
This interview guide from RoleCatcher is awesome, by the way. Packed with example questions, and it even gives you insight into what those interviewers are really looking for.
That's great.
So you ready to tackle a few of these?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
Okay, here's one that jumps out at me. Can you describe a time when you had to make a tough call on accepting or rejecting a batch of textile materials? Why do you think this is such a favorite question among interviewers?
It's a great question because it's, more than just a yes or no, right?
Right.
They really want to understand your decision-making process, how you assess risk, and really, are you willing to stand up for quality even when it's a tough call?
Yeah. So it's about demonstrating that you've got a backbone.
Exactly.
Okay, so how can someone prepare for a question like this and really knock it out of the park?
So think about a specific situation where you face this kind of dilemma.
Okay.
Walk the interviewer through it. Highlight the challenge,
Right.
the actions that you took, and the results that you achieved.
So very clear picture with concrete details.
Absolutely.
And that's where I think RoleCatcher's AI can really step in, right?
Yeah.
It can analyze your response, give you that personalized feedback
Right.
on how to make it even stronger.
Exactly. It's like having that virtual interview coach
Oh, cool.
right there in your corner.
Okay, so you've nailed that initial response.
Okay.
But what about those follow-up questions?
Right.
What are some of the things they might throw at you to dig a little deeper?
Well, they might ask about the specific criteria you used to make that decision, or the potential consequences of accepting or rejecting that batch.
Oh, okay.
How did you communicate your findings to the team or the supplier?
Right.
It's all about showing that you thought it through from all those different angles.
Be prepared to elaborate.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to another challenging question from the guide.
Okay.
This one asks, can you describe a time when you had to work under pressure to meet a deadline while inspecting textile materials? It seems like they're really trying to gauge your ability to handle the heat.
Absolutely.
Right.
Textile production, it's fast-paced.
Yeah.
They want to know you can stay focused, that you can maintain accuracy even when the clock is ticking.
It's about proving you can stay cool under pressure.
Exactly.
So what would be the best way to approach a question like this?
Again, think of a specific example where you face that tight deadline.
Okay.
Really outline the steps you took to manage your time. How did you prioritize those tasks? and still make sure those textiles met the required standards.
Okay.
Did you have to stay late? Did you come up with a creative solution?
Yeah.
They want to hear about that.
They want to see those problem-solving skills in action.
Absolutely.
Now, I know that RoleCatcher's AI can help tailor your response to the specific company and role. Can you give an example of how that might work?
Yeah, so imagine you're applying for a role where speed is paramount, right?
Okay.
So RoleCatcher's AI, it might suggest that you highlight those instances where you streamline processes or where you found a way to inspect those textiles maybe more efficiently,
Okay.
but without sacrificing that quality.
So it's all about tailoring your responses to what that company values most.
Exactly.
Now, what are some potential follow-up questions that they might ask to really put you in the hot seat?
So, they might ask about the challenges you faced during that time crunch, or what strategies did you use to overcome them? What lessons did you learn about, time management, prioritization?
So it's about demonstrating you can handle the pressure, but also learn and grow from it.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, let's tackle one more question before we move on to part 2.
Okay, sounds good.
Ready?
Hit me with it.
Okay. Can you explain your experience working with different textile testing equipment?
Okay.
Now, this one seems pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
But what are they really getting at here? What are they trying to assess?
It's really about showcasing that technical expertise, right?
Okay.
They want to know that you're familiar with the tools of the trade,
Yeah.
that you can use them effectively to ensure quality control.
So it's not just about knowing how to push the buttons, but understanding what the results mean.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's about that deeper knowledge.
So how can our listener craft a response that really highlights those technical skills?
Be specific. Don't just say you've used testing equipment.
Right.
Mention the types of equipment.
Okay.
Like, tensile strength testers, martindale abrasion testers. Really explain the tests you've conducted and the results that you've analyzed.
Don't be afraid to geek out a little bit.
Exactly.
Now, I'm guessing RoleCatcher's AI can help you identify the specific equipment that's relevant to the role, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So it can analyze that job description, even suggest additional details about testing methods or software that might really resonate with the hiring manager.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, let's wrap up this first round of questions with some potential follow-up questions. What might they ask?
So, they could ask you to describe a specific test in detail.
Okay.
Or, how do you troubleshoot equipment malfunctions?
Okay.
How do you stay up to date on the latest advancements in that testing technology?
So it's about showing that you're knowledgeable and adaptable.
Right.
And you're hungry to learn more.
Exactly.
And on that note, we're going to take a quick pause in our deep dive. Be sure to come back for part 2, where we'll tackle even more of these interview questions.
Sounds good.
Explore RoleCatcher's AI advantage in more detail and delve into the potential career paths for textile quality inspectors.
All right.
See you soon.
See ya. All right, welcome back. We've been really putting those interview skills to the test.
Yeah, we have.
But the textile world's pretty vast.
It is.
And there's always more to learn.
Always more to learn.
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's dive into another question from RoleCatcher's interview guide.
All right.
This one asks about your experience working with international textile standards.
Okay.
Now, why do you think this is so important?
Yeah.
Especially for textile quality inspectors.
Well, in today's world, textiles are constantly crossing borders, right?
Right.
So, a shirt might be designed in Italy, made with fabric from India,
Right.
and then assembled in China. So, a textile quality inspector needs to be fluent in those international standards to make sure there's consistency no matter where that textile ends up.
It's about speaking the language of quality.
Exactly.
No matter what country.
You got it.
Okay, but how can someone prepare for a question like this, especially if they haven't had direct experience working with international standards?
Yeah, research is key here.
Okay.
Look into some of the major standards, like the ISO standards for textile testing. Familiarize yourself with those acronyms.
Okay.
The general principles behind them. You can even check out industry publications, online forums, and see how those standards are being applied in real-world scenarios.
So it's about showing that initiative, that willingness to learn, even if you haven't had that direct experience.
Exactly.
Now, how about RoleCatcher's AI? Can it help tailor your response to the specific company or role role?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Let's say the company that you're interviewing with has a strong presence in the European markets, right?
Right.
RoleCatcher's AI might suggest mentioning your familiarity with those specific EU regulations
Oh,
for textile safety and labeling.
so it's all about those little details.
Yeah, those little details that show you've done your homework.
You've done your research.
Yeah.
Okay, now what about follow-up questions? What might they ask to really test your understanding?
So they could ask about the challenges of reconciling different country standards
Okay.
or how you stay updated on those ever-evolving regulations.
Right.
They might even give you a hypothetical situation like, say, a product meets one country's standards but not another's. How would you navigate that?
It's a tricky situation.
It is, yeah. It's about showing that problem-solving mindset.
Okay, let's shift gears a little bit.
Okay.
Here's a question that might seem a little unexpected for a textile quality inspector role.
Okay.
Can you describe your experience in managing a team of textile quality inspectors? Now, why would this question come up even if the role doesn't explicitly involve managing others?
Well, leadership skills are valuable no matter what the role is.
That's true.
Even if you haven't officially managed a team,
Right.
You've probably collaborated with colleagues, maybe taken initiative on projects or mentored a junior team member. This question's all about showcasing those transferable skills.
So it's about highlighting those leadership moments, even if it was in informal setting.
Exactly.
Okay, so how can someone structure their response to really shine even without that formal management experience?
Yeah, focus on those situations where you demonstrated those leadership qualities.
Okay.
Did you train a new colleague on a specific testing procedure? Did you step up and coordinate a project?
Okay.
Or implement a new quality control measure?
Okay.
Those are all great examples.
So it's about finding those nuggets of leadership gold from your past experiences.
Exactly.
Now, I know RoleCatcher's AI can help polish those responses. So can you give an example of how it might enhance an answer about leadership?
So let's imagine you're describing a time when you mentored a colleague, right?
Oh.
RoleCatcher's AI might suggest quantifying the results of your mentorship.
Oh, okay.
So maybe their inspection accuracy improved by a certain percentage,
Okay.
or they were able to identify a critical defect that could have slipped through the cracks.
So those details really add impact.
Absolutely. You're turning those good stories into great stories.
I like it. Okay, let's talk about potential follow-up questions.
Sure.
What might they ask to learn more about your leadership style?
They might ask about your approach to delegating tasks,
Okay.
motivating a team, how you handle conflicts. They might ask about your communication style,
Okay.
especially when you're giving constructive feedback.
So it's about showing those interpersonal skills that make a good leader.
Exactly.
Okay, let's tackle another question from the interview guide.
All right.
This one asks, can you explain your experience working with textile manufacturers to improve the quality of their products? So this seems to go beyond just inspecting textiles.
It does.
It's about collaboration.
It is, yeah.
Right.
Quality control is a team effort.
Okay.
A textile quality inspector might identify a recurring defect,
Right.
but it takes collaboration with that manufacturer to figure out the root cause and find a solution.
So how can someone craft a response that really shows those skills effectively?
Think about specific instances where you've worked with those manufacturers to solve a problem or improve a process. Did you help a supplier understand a new quality standard?
Right.
Did you collaborate on a new testing protocol? Those are the kinds of stories they want to hear.
It's about being a problem solver and a bridge builder.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, how can RoleCatcher's AI help tailor this response to the specific company or role?
So let's say the company you're interviewing with emphasizes close relationships with their suppliers.
Okay.
RoleCatcher's AI might suggest highlighting instances where you've built those strong relationships. Maybe even mentioning specific successes you've had in improving quality together.
So you're showing that you can be an asset, not just to the company, but to their entire network.
Exactly. You're part of that bigger picture.
I like it. Okay, potential follow-up questions.
Yeah.
What might they ask to dig a little deeper into your collaborative approach?
They could ask about a time when you had to give difficult feedback to a manufacturer.
Oh, okay.
Or how you handle disagreements about quality standards.
Right.
They might even ask about your strategies to maintain open communication. How do you build that trust with those that you collaborate with?
So it's about showing those diplomacy skills.
Absolutely.
Okay, before we jump into the final part of our deep dive,
Okay.
are there any other insights from the career guide that would be helpful for someone prepping for this interview?
One thing that really stood out to me in the career guide was that emphasis on continuous learning.
Okay.
The textile industry is constantly evolving, and new technologies, new materials. So a textile quality inspector needs to stay ahead of the curve. So in your interview, be sure to mention any courses you've taken, certifications you've earned, even industry events that you've attended to stay current.
So it's all about showing that you're not just knowledgeable, but also committed to lifelong learning.
Exactly, that ongoing growth.
Okay, get ready for part 3, where we'll tackle that all-important question about sustainability.
Okay.
Explore RoleCatcher's AI advantage in even more detail.
Sounds good.
And discuss those exciting career paths that await a skilled textile quality inspector.
All right.
See you soon.
See ya. All right, welcome back.
We're back for part 3.
We've covered a lot of ground.
We have.
But there's one more question.
Oh, okay.
From RoleCatcher's interview guide.
Okay, lay it on me.
That we really need to address.
All right.
And it has to do with sustainability.
Okay.
The question asks, can you describe your understanding of textile sustainability and how it affects textile quality?
So why do you think this topic is so hot right now in the industry?
Well, sustainability is reshaping everything.
It really is.
And for good reason.
Yeah.
Consumers are demanding more eco-friendly products.
They are.
I mean, think about it. From the clothes we wear
Right.
to the fabrics in our cars.
Yeah.
Companies are realizing that sustainability is not just good for the planet.
Right.
It's good for business.
It's good for everyone.
Exactly.
So it's not just a trend. It's really a fundamental shift.
It is.
In how we think about textiles.
Absolutely.
So for someone new to the industry, what are some key things they need to know about textile sustainability?
Well, there's a lot of factors to consider.
Okay.
It really starts with the raw materials.
Okay.
Are they organic? Are they recycled? Sustainably sourced?
Okay.
And then you have to think about the manufacturing process.
Right.
Are they minimizing water and energy usage? Are they using dyes and chemicals that are safe for the environment, for workers?
Well, okay. And then, at the end of the life of the textile, you have to think about, well, is it biodegradable? Can it be recycled?
Okay.
So all these things play a role in determining the overall sustainability.
So you're really looking at the entire life cycle.
You got it.
Of the textile,
Yeah.
From its origins to disposal.
That's right.
Now, how does sustainability actually impact the quality of the textile?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
And in many cases, sustainability goes hand in hand with higher quality.
Okay.
For example, organic cotton is often softer
Oh, okay.
and more durable
Yeah.
than conventional cotton
Okay.
because it hasn't been treated with harsh chemicals.
As it's gentler
Right.
in a lot of ways.
Exactly.
Okay, now how can RoleCatcher's AI help someone craft a response to this interview question?
Well, let's say the company you're interviewing with is known for using recycled materials.
Okay.
RoleCatcher's AI might suggest that you mention your familiarity with the different types of recycled fibers.
Or highlight a project where you successfully incorporated recycled materials into a textile design.
So showing that your knowledge and values really align
Exactly.
with that company's.
Yeah.
Okay, let's wrap up this question with a few follow-up questions.
Sure.
What might they ask?
They might ask about specific sustainable practices you've implemented in the past.
Okay.
Or challenges you've faced in promoting sustainability within a company.
Right.
They could even ask about your vision for the future of sustainable textiles.
It's about showing that you're passionate and you're looking for those solutions.
Absolutely.
You're not just aware of the problem.
You're thinking ahead.
Yeah. Okay, let's shift gears a little bit and talk about RoleCatcher as a whole.
Okay.
We've touched on its AI features throughout this whole deep dive, but for someone who's never used it before,
Yeah.
what makes it such a powerful tool for job seekers?
RoleCatcher is like having a personal interview coach
Okay.
and a resume expert,
Oh, wow.
all rolled into one. It takes the guesswork out of the job application process by
Right.
giving you that tailored guidance
Okay.
and feedback
Mm-hmm.
every step of the way.
Cool.
You can upload your resume, practice answering interview questions, even get insights into specific companies and roles.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about career progression.
Okay.
The career guide outlines a path
Right.
for textile quality inspectors. But what are some of the exciting opportunities that await someone with the right skills and experience?
I mean, the possibilities are endless, right?
Yeah.
You could start as an entry-level inspector, work your way up to a senior role, overseeing a whole team of inspectors, or managing a quality control department.
Okay.
You could specialize in a particular area of textile testing.
Yeah.
You could even move into a role focused on sustainability or product development.
So there are paths for those who love the hands-on work,
Yeah.
but also for those who want to lead
Right.
or specialize.
Absolutely.
So it's a career with options, and RoleCatcher can help you navigate those options.
It can. It provides resources for professional development, networking, even exploring different career paths.
That's amazing. So whether you're fascinated by fabrics,
Yeah.
passionate about quality,
Right.
or driven to make a positive impact on the industry,
Mm-hmm.
a career as a textile quality inspector might be the perfect fit.
FP.
And with RoleCatcher by your side,
Yeah.
you'll have the tools and guidance you need.
Yeah, on it.
Now we've reached the end of our deep dive,
Okay.
but we always like to leave you with a thought-provoking question.
Right. I like it.
So here it is.
Hmm.
Imagine you're the textile quality inspector for a company making spacesuits
Oh.
for a mission to Mars.
Okay.
What unique challenges might you face?
Mm.
And how would you ensure those suits are truly out of this world quality?
Well, you'd have to think about things like extreme temperatures, radiation exposure, the incredible stress that those suits would go through during launch and landing. You'd really have to push the boundaries of textile testing and innovation to make sure those astronauts are safe.
It's a reminder that textile quality can be a matter of life and death.
Absolutely.
It's not just about aesthetics.
It's about performance.
Yeah. So there you have it. We've given you the insights, the tools, even a little bit of inspiration
Hopefully.
to help you navigate the world of textile quality.
Yeah. Good luck out there.
Best of luck in your job search and your future career in this really dynamic and ever-evolving industry.
It's a fascinating field.
It is. Until next time, keep those brains engaged.
Yeah.
And those curiosity fires burning.
Absolutely.